Hello everyone, we're going to go ahead and get started. I've got my stabilizer hooked up and I'm getting ready to do the first color here. Okay, I'm going to take this off my machine, and the first place that the fabric goes is in this area right here. And secure that with taper pins. If you use pins, I can't say this enough, make sure they're going to be out of the way of your stitching. And we're going to put it back on the machine and go ahead and do color number 2. This first piece is basically like an applique. It's the very first part of the flip and fold. This one won't be a flip and fold, it'll be like an applique. Okay, after that one, take it off your machine and we're going to trim it. And remember not to trim this outside here. We'll do that later, or if it's going to be a quilt block, you will trim it last. So we'll go ahead and trim around as close as we can get to this zigzag stitch. There's your first piece. Now this is where we're going to start the flip and fold. You're going to take your next fabric, looking at your chart in your instructions, this one here. This is the next piece that's going to be sewing, although your fabric isn't going to sit there yet. This area right here. You're going to take your fabric, face side down on top of the previous fabric you just sewed, and you're going to line up the raw edges, as you can see, and you're going to secure that with taper pins. Sometimes I don't tape or pin it, I just kind of hold it in place. Okay, put it back on your machine. Run the next color. Take it off your machine. Now you have a seam. This is where you're going to flip it. Use an iron. The little clover irons are really awesome. I just got one. I'm just going to finger press these for the video. Make sure it's nice, flat. Now you're going to secure the fabric again. away from the edges of where it's going to sew. And we're going to run the next color. The next color is the tack down. It's going to tack that piece down. Remove it from your machine. Take your pins or tape off, and you're going to trim it again. Again, not outside here. Leave this area alone. You're going to trim this, this, and this. I didn't do the greatest job tacking that with the pins. Okay? Notice you left this edge. Referring back to your chart, piece 3 is right here. We're going to do the same exact thing we just did. You can lay your fabric face side down over the last 2 pieces that you just made. Straight edges even. And you're gonna secure it however you want to secure it. I think I'm just gonna let mine lay. Save a little bit of time. Put it back on your machine. Run the next color. Made your seam. You're going to flip it over. And I've already realized that I have screwed up. We'll fix that on this next part. Go ahead and press it. Hold it down, or secure it down. Run the next color. The fabric tacking. And okay, we're going to take this off. You're going to leave this edge alone. Don't cut that off. You're going to cut this edge and this edge. And there's your third piece. Now I'll show you what I was forgetting to show you on the first 3 pieces. I forgot to show you how to make sure everything's going to fit where it belongs. Okay, our next piece is piece number 4, which is this area right here. Again, fabric face side down. Got a couple strings here. Let's trim these up. Okay, face side down over the previous fabrics. Take your ruler. This is what you should have been doing from piece 2 on. I have mine set at 1/2 inch. This is going to give you plenty of room. This is just to make sure that your fabric swatch is actually going to cover the area that you need it to. You're going to lay it right there. This is where the seam is going to be sewing. This is just testing it. Flip it over. Make sure everything, that whole area of number 4 is under this fabric, and that you have enough that you can cut off. Sorry to confuse you on that. I'm going to leave that there. Run the next color. Take it off again. Flip it. Press it. Secure it. Sew it. Take it off. This piece you will trim all the way around. It's not outside of this square. Just go ahead and trim it. Missed a little piece here. Piece number 5, right here. Line up your fabric so it's straight along the edge. Measure in 1/2 inch. Flip your fabric, make sure everything's going to be covered. You don't have any spaces. Now see, if I would have this down here, or let's say we have it even down here. And if I flipped it over, you're going to have a gap right here. This is why we're testing it ahead of time. And should have been from the beginning. Sorry. Again. Anyway, I'll move this back down. Test it. Everything's going to be covered.